Have you ever found yourself in that place where you just keep trying to move just a little bit to reinvent yourself to fit into this crowd? No, maybe it's this crowd over here. Maybe I'm supposed to be more like this. You know, you have to have the coat and maybe even a tie. Oh my gosh, I forgot my tie. And all the while you're dodging and weaving and bobbing and ducking and trying to find just the right place for your message, for your story, for yourself to fit in. Eventually, you begin to lose sight of yourself. You begin to lose the traction of your own story. You've done so much crafting and manipulating and twisting and pulling and stretching and teasing that your life looks more like Laffy Taffy than it does like you. And you've lost this really powerful key word in your own identity. Oh, sure, it's a good slogan, it's a good tagline, it's a good phrase. A lot of people throw it around as if they know what it is, but they've lost authenticity. And that, my friends, can be the end of you. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. There are a lot of people in today's communication world, especially in today's information society, who have reinvented. They've used ClickFunnels, they've dumped ClickFunnels, they've used Infusionsoft, they've dumped Infusionsoft, they've used Kajabi, they've dumped Kajabi, they've used all kinds of different platforms and tools and connectivities and network meetings and relationships to try to compel themselves, to impel themselves, to propel themselves to the top. And all the while they just keep redrudging the same story or trying to figure out who they really are. Maybe you have toyed with the idea of writing a blog and you've pulled in all these different kinds of resources, but what you've had a hard time with is just creating the content on a consistent basis, finding a way to write or record, to teach or to train, to expose or to squeeze what's in you out for the impact of others. May 16th of this year will be 3 consecutive years. That's 1,095 days that I've invested in this live video. Now, obviously, I don't do them on weekends. I don't do them on holidays. And sometimes I have travel days where I'm in the car or on the plane at the time that I should be live recording, and I just don't have the opportunity. But we're still pushing somewhere around 900 videos by the time we get to May 16th. So we're really close to the 1,000 mark. I think we'll probably hit that right around the middle of July, maybe early August, for our 1,000th live stream of the Leading Leaders Podcast. But along the way, we've also done a few hundred face-to-face interviews, some in the studio, where we sit down at the table for half an hour and we discuss a heavy topic, or a deep emotional topic, or a great teaching content. Some live on the streets at events where we've been at award ceremonies or live banquets or 3 or 4 day seminars. And we bring people out of the audience and say, tell us about this. What have you learned about this? What do you think about this? And sometimes we catch a celebrity, like the people who have starred in movies. And we ask them what they think about the conference, what they're teaching at the conference. And so there's all kinds of different opportunities for us to create content under Tell It Like It Is TV. Meet the Messenger is one show with a specific purpose. Transforming Grace, a totally different show with a different purpose. Leading Leaders Podcast, this 5 to 7 minute leadership teaching, totally different purpose. Tell It Like It Is, those are our face-to-face interviews that we do all over the world. All of those have a place and they have a merit and they have a connection and they have an audience that's a little bit different. We use the same tools for all of them. All of the social media sharing sites and the homepage on our webpage, which is its own blog for each of those different shows. All of those different elements are the same tools, just like your Infusionsoft, just like your Kajabi. But the one thing that's consistent among all of them is that what I believe to be my God-given gifts in communication and interview skills, my skills of observation and friend building, all of those are rolled into the performance that is the Leading Leaders podcast, Meet the Messenger, Transforming Grace, and Tell It Like It Is. And StoryPower, new to be added, a whole new ballgame. But I want you to understand that you may find yourself thinking, how could I create that much content? What do I have to say? How would I even put it together? Do I script it ahead of time? Do I do it live read? Do I just go unplanned, unscripted and see what happens? And the answer is perhaps yes, perhaps none of the above, perhaps all of the above, but somewhere, somehow, some way, you have to get started. See, it didn't happen overnight. Some of these podcasts have been 45 minutes long. Some have been 3. I find that between 5 and 7 minutes is kind of the sweet spot. So I try to stay in that 5 to 7 minutes. That's how much attention span the average person has, especially at 6:30 in the morning when they're really paying attention to this podcast live. Over the course of a day, a couple hundred people will watch it, share it, send it around. That's a good thing. But for the audience that I'm really appealing to, 5 to 7 minutes is a good time. Teaching on a leadership topic or some way to advance their business. If you get to Video BlogCon May 2nd through 4th, right here in the Dallas area, in fact, it's right near the Irving Convention Center. So easy to fly into DFW if you want to do that. Easy to get a hotel really nearby. We'll actually be in a very nice hotel. We'll be there for 3 days. It's a great opportunity for you to get plugged in, to network, to meet some people that have done this blog and video thing for a while. People who are experts in the industry. People who are expert communicators, expert writers, expert video people. You have a chance to rub some elbows, ask some questions, and sit in some really good training. And if you need it, to get some one-to-one coaching on your story, some one-to-one coaching on your videos, some one-to-one coaching on your blogs. And for the first time at that event, Tim and I are going to partner up and offer you an intense, and I mean intense, 1-day, 6-hour story workshop just for the people at Video BlogCon. So if you're not there, you're not going to hear about this unless Tim decides to open it up later. But for those at the conference, you'll have a chance to attend a 6-hour, 1-day face-to-face workshop. There's only going to be about 25 people in it, and I'm going to walk you through the whole process of learning to discover your story in such a way that whenever you're squeezed just a little bit, what comes out is exactly the right amount. Let me give you a quick illustration of that. You ever watch somebody put icing on the top of a cake? I'm the kind of guy that starts with a shovel and just plops it on and smears it all over the place when it comes to icing on a cake. But my mother is one of those, even with her arthritic hands, who knows how to squeeze it into that little plastic bag and put just the right tip on the end of it to be able to write names, to be able to draw pictures, to be able to build landscapes on the top of a cake. I don't have that kind of development skill for cake decorating, but I do for storytelling. And whether you have 90 seconds or 90 minutes, I can help you craft your story into a deliverable that will reach the people you want to reach and convert the way you want to convert. I guarantee it. I can tell your story better than you can, and I will prove it. Come to the Blog and Video Con. There's a discounted registration, in fact, in the text of this post. But get registered. Get yourself to the Blog and Video Con, May 2nd through 4th, and then sign up for the private storytelling workshop. I'd love to see you in it. I'd love to see your story elevated to a whole new level. I'm J Loren Norris for Leading Leaders Podcast on Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.